Monday, July 24th, 2023, regular meeting of the Paris City Council is hereby called to order at 5:30 p.m. For this meeting, there is a quorum of the council present. Items 2 and 3, Mr. Jenkins Anderson will deliver the invocation. The United States Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Pankich. Please rise.
May we pray? Heavenly Father, as always, we are grateful for your blessings upon our country, upon our state, and our city. We again pray for your guidance and direction for our council tonight as they conduct the city business. And we thank you for your divine intervention, Father, to deal with issues and threats and harms. And we just pray that you would continue to bless you with your presence. For we ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Item number 4, Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentations to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with a specific factual information. Claims against the city council members or employees, as well as individual personal appeals, are not appropriate for the Citizens Forum. If necessary, the City Council may convene into executive session under Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code regarding any item on this agenda. The public forum is now open. If there is anyone who wishes to address the council, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Pat Bolton. I live at 205 25th Street Southeast, and I have for the last 49 years. We were at the Planning and Zoning Committee meeting back in June, and we expressed then the concerns that we had about the building and how it was going to affect us as far as flooding. As long as I've lived there, our street has had flooding from the land that's going to be built on, because we are 4 to 6 feet lower than the property that they're going to build on. And that was our big concern. On July the 8th, we had a little thunderstorm that came through. In no more than 45 minutes, we were out eating out and the electricity went off. So I know how long the storm lasted because we were there eating. When we got back home, we made a video of that drainage ditch after that one quick rain. I emailed it to each council member last Wednesday at your paristexas.gov, to the mayor, everybody, pro tem, and to each council member, hoping that you would see what I was talking about before tonight. I know that Mr. Pilgrim has seen it because I talked with him today and I sent it to him at his office across the street. But our concern after the last meeting was that the building and the retention pond or detention ponds that they're talking about building might possibly help us on the east side of the street. But our big concern too are the people across the street on the west side of 25th Street Southeast and down 26th Street. I know that everybody was notified 200 feet from the building. But another concern is the people that live down 26th Street have flooded in the past. And with all this rain and the drainage ditch that floods, my concern is what the extra building is going to do to that, because the retention ponds, as I understand it, are going to run into Lamar Avenue on the north, which goes down to the drainage ditch. On the south end of the retention pond, it goes into 26th Street Southeast in Hubbard, which goes into the drainage ditch, and the water cannot be handled as it is, much less with that. So that was our concern, but I don't know if it's possible to notify the people down 26th Street, because that is right in their backyard, and I know they have flooded. But I think that might be a good idea to do that. And I think my husband David wanted to say one thing.
Keeping it brief, I just want to make sure, and it looks like possibly this is going to go through, and want to make sure that the owner of the property and the builder stands to what he has said he's going to do, and that's put a concrete barrier on that property to keep water flowing from us, and a screening fence. And also, I have some small doubts if this is going to work, and if it doesn't work, who is going to be responsible? Or if we're going to come back and fix the issue if it doesn't work. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Doris Reedus, and I live at 206 26 Southeast. And my complaint is all this water that comes down that drainage ditch, it comes to my yard. And down 25th Street, it comes down to my yard. On 26th Street, from Hubbard down to where I live, that water comes down to my driveway. All this water comes down to me. I get the blunt end of it. There is a fence that goes across the street there on 24th and where I live, and it's full of trash. Nobody's been there to clean it out. So when it rains, all that water comes around and it comes right down my driveway. Well, the people that I bought the house from had turned that garage into a room, and that room has flooded 3 times. I finally said, to heck with it. I can't deal with this anymore. I get all the water. And that's my complaint. All of it comes to me. And I don't know why they widened the ditch, and I don't know why all that water can't go all the way through there, but it doesn't. I get it. So I don't know what to do about it. That's your problem, not mine.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. The citizens' forum is now closed. Consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are approved by a single action of the council, with such approval applicable to all the items appearing on the consent agenda. A council member may request any item to be removed from the consent agenda and consider it as a separate item. Staff has asked that item 15 be removed from the consent agenda for discussion and action. I will hear a motion to move item 15 to the regular agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Does any member wish to have an item from the agenda removed for discussion?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
With the exception of item 15.
Well, we already moved it.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Still the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 15, approve the final plat of the Rent 1 subdivision, lots 1 and 2, Block A, LCAT 128379, located in the 1300 block of Northwest Loop 286.
Yeah, I'll start this one off real quick. We do appreciate you for agreeing to pull it down from the consent. This did get past me. The consent agenda said approve. Staff has made a recommendation to deny. I am going to turn it over to Derek Dacus. He's our engineer tech to talk about this further.
This agenda item is about the Rent 1 addition final plat. When we put this forward to Planning and Zoning Commission. We had put this forward with a recommendation of denial because of the nature and number of the issues as listed in the memorandum. Planning and Zoning has decided to not go with staff's recommendations and decided to approve with the conditions that were listed as issues on that memo. For consistency, staff has once again recommended denial for this plat, for the final plat, for a number of reasons, not least of which is that there is a floodplain on the property, and there is also a note on the plat which states that a floodplain does not exist explicitly, and there are a few other notable issues as well. Mr. Steve Hudson from EST is here to discuss the plat. If you would like to, I'd like to give the floor to him for a second.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and City staff. Thank you for this opportunity to be here. Fortunately, I guess, this is the first time that I've been asked to come before you with one of our plats. Typically, we don't have these kinds of issues on our work product that we put out. I visited earlier today with Andrew and with Derek about the issues that are here that are listed in the memo that you have. I believe I've answered the questions that they had for me on those issues. They're really fairly minor and easy to take care of. They're just some drafting issues. I think there's in one place there may be even a typo in there, but certainly the issue of the drainage area not being shown on this plat was an error on our part. Since this is a final plat, you will have the opportunity to see it. Correction, this is a preliminary plat and not a final plat. You will have the opportunity to see it again in its final form with all of these corrections made. So we do ask that that you go ahead and approve the plat as presented and recommended by the P&Z at an earlier date with the stipulation that all of these issues be corrected prior to sending the final plat forward. If there are any questions that you have about any of those comments, I believe that you can all see those now. If you have any of the questions about those, I'd be happy to answer any of those questions for you.
Mr. Hudson, I would like to make a correction. This is on approval of this is the question of the final plat.
Okay.
They both went together to P&Z, and the final plat has come for council.
Okay, so we can make these corrections. Again, there are most of this is just drafting errors or Scrivener's errors, and we certainly are willing to make these corrections prior to the signature of the mayor and the city secretary on the plat. So if you have any questions.
So with this, obviously, we don't, we're not opposed to the P&Z. We will support the council, whether we approve with conditions or deny. And we've had some conversation with the surveyor today. That's new developments here. So as staff, we would recommend approval with conditions if that's how you do, subject to them being made prior to signature. I think that will work out. I think we've had some good conversations. Mr. Mack and Mr. Dakis have worked with the surveyor to get those things straightened out. Again, as staff, it's our job to try to treat everyone the same, be consistent. There's just an extent of errors here that we couldn't just go forward with and recommend approval. And so the process is worked through, so I think we're okay now. Are we, Derek?
Yes, I think that we would be comfortable with approval with conditions, and that would include just approving with the conditions as listed in the memorandum.
And we want to be consistent. Since we recommend denial the first time, we want to be consistent the second time, but we feel good that we've made those things known and we're going to work through them now. So,
just for clarification's sake, for everyone's record here, this was all written prior to meeting Mr. Hudson, and so you guys have had a meeting since then,
today.
Probably earlier today. And
yeah.
so you guys are okay with, the city is recommending approval per per the conditions that are stated here and feel comfortable in that, correct? In that
That's
recommendation?
correct, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's the case, then I will say this, you know, the builders are trying, and we don't, I think personally, I think that this council has done a really good job of, and the city staff, done a really good job of trying to promote more construction, more projects, and trying to be more willing to work with folks, and I hope everyone sees that. And this is a really tough decision always that we have to make, but I'm fine with it. I'm in favor of approving this, so I'll make a motion to approve as presented based off of the recommendation per the city.
Discussion.
Oh, it's still on discussion. I'm sorry. I apologize. It's still public. I apologize.
There's no questions?
What were the recommendations past what we see here that were discussed today? Do we have a list of those?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
I'm sorry, the recommendations that were brought forth today, are they in this memo here that we're looking at, or is?
The current memorandum recommends denial.
Right.
But due to some of the issues that we've worked through today, the recommendation from staff would be approval with conditions.
Yeah, there's no new conditions. It's
No.
the same conditions as you see in your memo.
Same conditions? Okay.
Yes. So,
And again, those are all issues that we can easily take care of with a little drafting time. I expect to have that back in the city's hands in a corrected form by the end of the week.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve as presented with the amendment of these conditions being placed here.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Item 16, discuss and conduct a public hearing and act on the ordinance considering the petition of Pan Stryben on behalf of Shine in Paris LLC for the specific use and permit SUP for a mixed use in a general retail district GR on the par of LCAT 17943 in the city of Paris, block 249, lot 7, and PT of 8 and 9, 2500 and 2514 Lamar, and LCAT 17944, City of Paris, Block 249, Lot PT 8 and 9, 2524 Lamar, 0.931 acres. Staff, you have a presentation, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of City Council. It's a pleasure for me to bring this project before you this evening, showing a marvelous mixed-use development site and use of this property that has stood vacant for a number of years. I believe that the owner and the owner's engineer have prepared a plan that fits with the site well. It's a difficult site, it's narrow, elongated, and it has an unusual shape, but they have fit the improvements to the site well. As you heard this evening during the citizen comment, as also did the Planning and Zoning Commission here during their public hearing. Again, to remind you, you will conduct a public hearing once again if there is further discussion on this evening to discuss more in detail about the recommendations and how the drainage will be addressed for this site. We have kind of a mix of zoning based upon the fact that we have 3 separate parcels for this property. What we see before us this evening in the site plan up along Lamar next to our EMS station and directly across from the Dairy Queen is a retail slash service building. Will have potential for multiple bays or one large user. Behind that, which would be building number 2, we have a vertical mixed-use project that is proposed as a part of this development. There will again be retail service on the main level, and 2 stories above will be occupied by apartments. In the rear, we'll have 2-story, a total of 3 2-story buildings, including a clubhouse and an amenity area for a pool with the development, and the parking areas circulating around The front two buildings with two driveway accesses proposed on Lamar. That is still yet to obtain final approval of TxDOT. They have been invited as a part of these discussions. We do have some current access points on the site, so that will yet to be worked out and determined by TxDOT, who is the road authority in this particular project. Staff, again, has worked carefully with the developer. A detailed memo was put into your packets from our city engineer that was also delivered to the Planning and Zoning Commission, talking about the design parameters around which stormwater will be designed for the site. We knew going into this project that there would be potential concerns about the displacement of stormwater immediately to the west of this site. We have a channel, subsidiary creek of one of the city's main drainage basins, and that area along 26th Street, as you heard referred to, or 25th Street, excuse me, tonight, is directly located in the floodplain. So this is a low area. This is higher ground. One of the conditions that is contained in the staff recommendation and that from your Planning and Zoning Commission would be specifically around number one condition in the staff report, being that the grading and drainage plan shall be reviewed and approved by the city engineer prior to approval of the preliminary plat. Also, this is a key, such that there shall be no direct runoff of stormwater to the west property line. So currently, today, as you see it, this entire site is draining to the south and the west toward the single-family homes along 25th Street. That water will all be redirected and restricted from draining into their backyards. It will be designed to go into a stormwater basin, whether above or below grade, and then piped to the south and the southwest, and will be then piped and channeled directly into the creek along Hubbard Street. So seeking to divert and actually improve the drainage condition that the residents are currently experiencing with the undeveloped site. To speak in greater detail about that, again, our city engineer is not here, but the project engineer who's looked at this carefully is here. They are in process of obtaining off-site easements to allow for all of the stormwater, water, and storm sewer and sewer utilities to flow through that off-site easement into Hubbard Street, where you see directly to the southwest corner of the site, removing any of the effect of that stormwater from the west, and also directing some of it to the north into Lamar Avenue, which is a small portion of that site that drains there. So moving into the remaining conditions, number 2 of our recommendation for approval and that of the P&Z, that building number 2 shall maintain a minimum 30-foot setback as a buffer yard from the west property line. Number 3, that the developer retain all existing vegetation as screening along the west property line, or shall plant and maintain double the minimum required canopy trees and shrubs along the side buffer area. All removal of trees and vegetation shall be subject to prior approval of the Director of Planning and Community Development and the city engineer prior to issuance of site grading permits and/or clearing and/or grading permits. Also, that all vegetation trees required to be preserved shall be protected with temporary fencing barrier to be installed around the canopy drip line so that we don't have mortality with the site prep and construction of the dirt work. Number 4, the developer shall install a 6-foot privacy fence along the west property line from Lamar Avenue to the southwest corner of Building 3. Again, this entire west frontage that will have parking surface, multi-story buildings, will be provided with a complete screening barrier as a privacy fence, in addition to the existing vegetation that will be maintained along the west boundary line. Number 5, that they'll comply with all state and local regulations, and that also that there's a requirement for them to begin work and obtain building permits within the first year following approval of this SUP. Otherwise, it will expire without extension by the City Council. Fortunately, I'm pleased to be here to indicate that the developer has agreed to all of these conditions in advance. And with that and with the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission, recommend your approval this evening of the special use permit for specifically this mixed vertical use, which is building number 2, which we build all of the conditions around the entire site development for this approval. So again, we are recommending approval with the 6 stated conditions in the staff report. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
So there'll be a hydro plan, engineered hydro study on the property to make sure that we're not dumping anything extra anywhere, correct?
Absolutely. That will be our assurance and guarantee that the plan will work the way it's stated and intended to. We don't have all the detailed engineering at this time, but that will be part of the checks and balance to assure conformity with the ordinance and that the review and approval will be not only in conformity with our ordinance regulations around the required design storm years as recommended by the city engineer from our ordinance, but also these additional conditions.
Who is the developer, do we know?
Is represented here by the developer is Shine in Paris, and he's represented by Mr. Pond, who's the engineer for the project, who I'd actually like to invite up to speak if I could,
Yeah.
as you open the public hearing.
Any other questions? Okay. I will open the public hearing and ask for anyone wishing to speak in favor or opposition to this item to please come forward.
Good evening. My name is Pan Straben. I'm principal with PSA Engineering, and I represent Shine in Texas, an investment corporation from Dallas, Texas. And Shine in Texas want to bring a project to City of Paris by constructing this mixed-use development. And we understand and we talk to the city about the concern of the citizen on the drainage issue. And we want to make sure and assure you that there will be no water from this site into private properties to the west. And we even pick up some water from the east, from the existing apartment unit. So the water that will be on their property would be the water that's falling on their property, but not from us. We are diverting all the water to 2 detention ponds, one along Lamar Avenue, and the other one is on the back side between building 3 and 4. And then this will be computer model calculation to make sure that we can hold all the water that's coming in. Matter of fact, we would reduce the amount of water discharged from this site. And when we have agreed to all the conditions that Mr. Mack have put on the agenda, and be glad to answer any question you have, sir. And we're ready to start phase 1, the first building in the front right away, as soon as the plan approved.
First and foremost, I want to say this is an impressive project and one that I think would be neat for our community, but obviously I understand the concern from the citizen standpoint. I mean, that's a pretty important issue, especially given the history of this road. We've had a lot of flooding on this. So no blame on you for that, but it's an existing issue that the city is trying to work on. The question I have is, are these ponds, I see your 2 detention ponds, are these, what's the dimensions on that? And is that going to be sufficient for that big of a property?
The dimension is right on the bottom of the pond. I think the front pond is 54 feet by 14 feet. It looks small because the scale.
Right, that's what I was asking.
But it's both ponds are big, and it will hold the water that based on the engineering model that will submit the model calculation to the city engineer to confirm that the pond it can carry it, and the pond will have 1 foot freeboard That means they have extra capacity just in case. But anyhow, we don't want to have any spill water outside the pond, except to the pipe that go to Hubbard Street, and will tie to the system in Hubbard Street. So we not increase any runoff anywhere from this project. The front pond is 54 feet long, 14 feet wide, 4 foot deep. The back pond, or the south pond, is 68 feet wide by 9 feet by 4 feet.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And this will be maintained by the homeowner association. Keep mowing.
Good deal.
The side slope of the pond is 3-to-1, so it'll be very nice, gentle slope.
You will be grading up any on the west side?
No.
No, just existing
At
grade?
3-to-1, the mower can mow without
Okay.
flip it over.
Okay.
And then during the dry period, they can use it as a playground if they want to, you know.
Thank you, sir. I will now close the public hearing. Is there any other discussion? If not, I hear a motion.
Making a motion to approve the SUP for mixed use and general retail, item 16 is written.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 17, discuss and conduct a public hearing and act on the ordinance considering the petition of Pan Stribing on behalf of Shine in Paris LLC for a zoning change from a one-family dwelling district number 3, SF3, to a multifamily dwelling district number 2, MF2, on part of LCAT 17944 in the city of Paris, block 249, part of the lot PT 8 and 9, 2524 Lamar Ave, 0.865 acres. Mr. Mack?
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. The remaining two rezoning ordinance requests complete the mixed use for the compartmentalized zoning that is on the site. We are recommending that the approval from SF3 to 2F to accommodate the higher density residential be approved this evening.
Are there any questions? I will open up the public hearing and ask for anyone wishing to speak in favor or opposition to this item to please come forward. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Is there any further discussion? If not, I will hear a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item number 18, discuss and conduct a public hearing and act on the ordinance considering the petition of the Pan Stribing on behalf of Shine in Paris LLC for a zoning change from a general retail GR to a multifamily dwelling district number 2, MF2, LCAT 102125 in the city of Paris, block 249, lot PT of 9, behind 2500 Lamar Ave, 0.374 acres. Mr. Mack.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. Again, the third action, your final action this evening on rezoning of the remaining portion of the site, bringing it into conformity for the development as shown by rezoning the parcel from general retail to MF2 zoning district, accommodate the apartments in the rear of the site. So staff and your P&Z are recommending approval of this. And actually, I'd also like to add one additional comment. We did hear some comments from the citizens about some of the concerns that they have of the existing creek. We believe that this project, as designed and engineered, will improve the issue, some level of issue that they currently have in their property. I know the question was asked earlier. I'm not sure it was clear. There will be a barrier along the west property line, so none of that surface water, as it makes its way to the ponds and out to the stormwater system, will be able to flow further to the west. It'll be a vertical barrier, whether it's a 1 to 2 foot curb. Once the final engineering design is completed, that will be installed to complete that assurance that none of it will flow in that direction. Additionally, I know that our city engineer has been working hard with our city manager, our assistant city manager, our public works department, working to address issues and concerns regarding the design capacity of our larger system. And I believe that city manager is planning a future presentation to the council to further address those issues. So with that, again, Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as staff, are recommending approval of the final zoning change from general retail to MF2.
I will open the public hearing and ask for anyone wishing to speak in favor or opposition to this item to please come forward.
One quick question is probably for the engineer of the facility. The detention pond on Lamar Avenue, I don't see on the drawing that it's going to be piped into Lamar Avenue. Is it just going to have still water that drains into the soil over a period of time? Or is it going to be drained out into Lamar Avenue? I see a 4-inch pipe on Hubbard Street.
Yes, sir, we still do the model study right now. Part of the drainage of the front pond, we refer, and on the Lamar, the side will be dig deeper, it's about 8 foot deep, and then we're going to fill with sand right on the bottom. That allows the osmosis of the water down into the ground, because we know they don't have capacity on Lamar Avenue to carry all the water, so we want to almost eliminate any spill into Lamar Avenue. So there'll be a model to submit to the city engineer for approval on the front detention pond.
Would you be making any modifications based off of a study to taper that water off little by little? Or I want to make sure I understood that correctly.
The water will be, the front part of the property, which is smaller than the back part, will be drained into the pond, into the front northwest corner pond.
Got you.
And then that water will be seep into the ground. That our geotech is studying right now of what the rate of seepage into the ground that would be allowed. And what we plan to do, there's a water that run from this site into Lamar Avenue right now. We will not have any more water than what today water getting to Lamar Avenue.
That statement that was just made is consistent with our ordinance requirements, not to increase any of the post-development rates of runoff beyond that of the current site drainage conditions.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. I will now close the public hearing. Is there any further discussion? Okay, I will hear a motion.
I move that, oh, go ahead.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Item 19, discuss and conduct a public hearing and act on the ordinance considering the petition of Daniel Garza on behalf of Red W. Leaf LLC for a specific use permit for a tattoo shop in the Central Area District, CA, on the part of LCAD 13657 in the city of Paris, Block 6, Lot 7, located at 116 Southeast First Street. Mr. Mack.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Pro Tem, members of council. This is a request for a new operator in this location. We have an existing shop. My understanding is there will be a slight increase in the size and then the service level provided. This was reviewed by the Planning and Zoning Commission, and both the city staff as well as the P&Z are recommending approval of this special use permit, which is the method in which our ordinance allows this use to be approved. And it's on the basis of the 3 recommended conditions, which are that the applicant shall provide proof to the city of current licensure for the operation of a tattoo studio by the Department of State Health Services. Number 2, that the applicant shall obtain and maintain a valid certificate of occupancy issued by the City of Paris for the business operation and comply with all requirements therein. And lastly, that the special use permit shall expire 1 year from the date of discontinuance unless a new CO is applied for and approved by the city within that time frame.
I will open up the public hearing and ask for anyone wishing to speak in favor or opposition to this item to please come forward. I will now close the public hearing. Is there any further discussion? I will hear a motion.
So moved.
Second.
A second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. We will skip items number 20 and 21 because they were not heard by the planning and zoning, and there's no action to be taken. So item number 22, discuss and appoint one member of the Historic Preservation Commission to serve on the Main Street Advisory Board. Staff?
At the June 26 meeting, Chad Lindsay was appointed to Planning and Zoning. That leaves a vacancy on Main Street. And the ordinance allows for one member of the Historic Preservation to sit on that board. There are 3 people that have applied to do that, and that's Arlie Watt, Seth Johnson, and Les Shoemake. So we need to appoint one person to fill that vacancy. I passed out ballots. If you all want to do the ballot way, we can do that, or if someone wants to make a motion. It's up to you all.
I don't know any of them, no.
Okay.
I know 2 of them, but I'd rather get everyone's. Thank you, ma'am.
Give us just a minute.
Look at mine, make sure I got them right while I add them up.
She can't watch your stuff for you. So you should have put it in his mom's house.
High score?
Okay, the person receiving the highest number of points is Seth Johnson. So if we can get a motion to appoint Mr. Johnson.
Make the motion, we appoint Mr. Johnson to the, Main Street.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion carries 6-0. Item number 23, discuss and approve the lowest bids received for water and wastewater treatment chemicals for use in FY 2023-2024. Mr. Harris.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council. Just to give you some background, Utilities Department advertises for water and wastewater treatment chemical bids on an annual basis to be used in the upcoming fiscal year. We opened those bids on July the 18th, and we typically include this on consent agenda, but due to the amount the dollar amount of these bids. We wanted to have complete transparency and just bring these bids to City Council this evening. Last year, we saw a very large increase due to a number of factors, mainly COVID-related factors, supply chain factors, and it's basically flat from last year's bid opening, but we still wanted to bring this to you tonight, so I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? No. Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
Is there any discussion? Can I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the low bids received for the water and wastewater treatment chemicals to be used in fiscal year 23-24.
Is there a second? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries 6-0. Item number 24, discuss and provide direction to the staff with regard to the nonprofit organization's contracting policy in preparation for receiving and reviewing applications at a future meeting.
Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, the city has a nonprofit funding assistance program that started back in 2021. This will be our third year for that. We have 12 applications this year, 3 of which did not meet the requirements, but the policy states that they will still be presented to you. It should be noted that even if that they didn't they're ineligible, they'll still be presented as part of this policy, so you will look at all 12 applications that were received. In accordance with policy, staff has processed these and we're ready to prepare, or we're prepared to present them to you, or like we've done in the last 2 years, you could request to have a special meeting, have the organization send a representative, and they could present a much more interesting and informative presentation to you, and also be available for questions and answers. So we're seeking direction tonight from the council as to which way you would like to proceed.
Is the deadline passed on applying?
Yes, yes.
I personally like to have these special meetings. I feel like it gives the nonprofit the opportunity to be able to plead their case on what they do and show their pride. I like that.
If we're okay with presentations, then yeah, I think we should do a special meeting, but if we decide that we don't want the presentations, then I think we can do it in a regular council meeting.
Can I say one thing? We did this one year and it was a 5-hour barn burner. Can we give them a time limit?
They do.
They got.
Do they have 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's why they put that limit, because we don't want it.
One year we had it and it was
Right,
hours.
yeah, the second year it went okay.
Can we cut the time limit down from 5 minutes?
We can if you so wish. Part of the time was, I think, spent just after the presentation, discussion, questions, answers. I think that was a big part of it afterwards.
Yeah, because it kind of lingers on a little bit sometimes. We know most of the organizations, they're all local.
I was getting ready to say
so I don't
that,
know why it takes so long, not saying the organizations, I'm really talking about us, so.
Well, you will be have all this information in a Dropbox. You'll be able to access it prior to the meeting.
Yeah.
So just that could help speed things up as well.
Right.
And we're in no hurry to do the special meeting right now, because the budget amounts by policy is set in the budget. And so we can have this special meeting late August, early September. Ideally, have it before October 1st when the new fiscal year, but we don't have to have it next week. And so we're not in an immediate hurry to do this.
Is any nonprofit in a need of financing right now before that time?
By our budget, we can't do it until October 1st anyways.
Gotcha.
It's part of,
Gotcha.
yeah, our current budget's been used up for the current round of applicants.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're limited by the next fiscal year.
I think we're all saying special meeting?
A special meeting, but are we okay with the 5, or do we need to drop it to 3 or 2?
I'd drop it to 3.
I'd drop it 3, and if they go over a little bit, I know you're going to be on top of that.
Yeah, we got the time up, so we agree to special
think-
meeting with 3 minutes.
There was one year too, I don't mean to be a stickler, but we're giving public funds, and there's some of them don't show up. I would stress to the ones that apply that their representative or board member from their organization be here. That's big, because there's some of these guys that put a lot of time and effort into this stuff, and we're giving taxpayer money. I think it's worth where the taxpayers that want to see it can they understand where their money's going.
I completely agree, and not to be too hard, but like, also at the end of the day, a deadline's a deadline, right? And so we are the city, we do have deadlines, we have to meet those deadlines, and it's not fair to the other nonprofits that put together all this information, finances and stuff to bring to the presentation, submit to the city, and then someone kind of gets by a day late or 2 days late or sometimes a week late. So I think we need to look at that policy, and I think last year we were debating on this too, so I still feel like it's, for those that turn it in on time, I think it's fair. For those that they can present, but I think there needs to be a caveat there that they may not receive funding. Not to be hard, not to be too hard.
I think it is. I think you stressed that last year. We're going to present, as a matter of fact, you came to council with it, that you would present, but it doesn't mean council has the right to not consider them. So that's already there.
Yeah, I believe everyone turned their application on time. We just had some.
They did.
There
The financial
pieces.
report, which was required because they received funding last year, was not turned in on time.
Yeah, so this year, we did get everyone on time, and barring some between now and then, but yeah, I would agree. I mean, the deadline's passed for turning an application, and so, but we just had a few that weren't complete applications.
Gotcha.
Just for clarification, for coming to the meeting, do we want to make that a requirement or a recommendation? Strong
I think
recommendation.
it's a strong recommendation.
Okay.
Recommendation.
Because if they don't come, then they're at the risk of being defunded for that
Yeah.
from the city.
Maybe a requirement.
Yeah. It should be
We're
mandatory.
giving taxpayer money. I mean,
Yeah, I'm okay with the requirement. I mean, I'm stickler about instructions and guidelines, and we can't waver
Yeah.
from them.
Yeah.
And there shouldn't be any gray areas in that,
Well,
so.
then when we make it a requirement and something happens that's out of their control and they
Right.
don't come because we were so stiff with it, then they're eliminated from consideration, and I would not want that to happen. So I think a strong recommendation, and that's just my opinion.
I think, but you could still have a board member, a board president, or a board VP show up. I mean, there's plenty of people on the board that can be able to show up, even the financial officer. So to rebut, I mean, I agree, but
a volunteer within I mean, every organization's got a ton of volunteers.
yeah. Well, heck, we're some of them
Right.
for some of these, you know.
Well, I'm with
So-
whatever the majority says.
Me personally, I think it should be mandatory that they come. If they don't come, they run that risk. But it's a 5-minute presentation at most. 3 minute. Sorry, 3 minute.
All right, you got your direction.
Requirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
All right, item number 25, convene into executive session pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee as follows. Municipal judge. The time is 6:24 p.m. The council is now in executive session. Yeah, the time is 6:47 p.m. and the city council is now in open session. We discussed the performance of Tim Hunt. With this directed, the city manager is to include pay increase in the proposed fiscal 2023 budget. No actions needed. Item number 27, consider and approve future events for the city council and our city staff pursuant to resolution number 2004-081. Does anyone have anything? Your motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
We adjourn.